Why Mbappe desperately needs a Champions League. Kylian Mbappe is 27 years old and still hasn't won a Champions League. That is incredible. He became a star at 18 years old, won the World Cup at 19, so it's expected by now he'd have at least a couple Ballon d'Ors and Champions Leagues to his name. He has neither. In many people's eyes, the best player in the world. You're either an Mbappe guy or a Yamal guy, but regardless, I'm sure majority of us would have expected he would have at least one Champions League by the time he's 27. And here's why he needs to win it. One of the best players of all time, a man who scored a hat-trick in a World Cup final, a hat-trick in the El Clasico, averages a goal or an assist a game, and the second top scorer in World Cup history, that's probably going to get broken this World Cup, as in the last one, he scored 8. The best player in my opinion to never win the Champions League is Ronaldo Nazario, also known as R9. Now, you may make the point, he's never won the Champions League and is regarded by many as the best striker of all time. So why does Mbappe need it? The thing is, Mbappe's situation is completely different. PSG brought in Mbappe and Neymar to win them the Champions League, and after a while, they made Mbappe the main man, gave him all the money he wanted, and even a role in incomings and outgoings. That's what the reports were. Paris was basically given to Mbappe, and he couldn't deliver the Champions League for them. The closest he came was in 2020 against Bayern, where they lost 1-0 in the final, and an unlucky semi-final exit against Dortmund, where they hit the post 3-4 times. So he leaves PSG, unable to give them their first Champions League, to join the holders at the time, Real Madrid, the kings of European football, 15 in their club history, a club that's almost guaranteed, especially in modern football, to win a Champions League once out of 3 years. As soon as he joins Real Madrid, the form dips, and PSG go on to win the Champions League for the first time in their history, as we also Ousmane Dembele won the Ballon d'Or, and so this narrative on Mbappe had landed. Lazy, doesn't track back, ruins the team, selfish, wants everything built around him, isn't a team player, and he makes every team he's at worse, which is crazy for me to hear. Look, I understand maybe he is a bit difficult to manage, but he's the modern day Messi and Ronaldo. They were also given the freedom staying up the pitch and not having to track back. He's far too good of a player to retire with a legacy like this. One of the best players in my lifetime in football history, no doubt about it. The man is 2 goals away from being France's all-time top scorer. He broke Ronaldo's record for the most goals in the group stages of a Champions League campaign. Yes, I know there was more games, but he did equal Ronaldo's with 6 games, and in that one extra game he has played, he broke it. His speed, his finishing, his movement is up there with the best of all time. If Mbappe can't get his hand on the Champions League, it damages the chances of getting a Ballon d'Or. In recent years, the Champions League has been more important than ever in determining the Champions League and the Ballon d'Or winner. The last time we saw a player win the Ballon d'Or without ever winning a Champions League in their career was Cannavaro, and that was all the way back in 2006, 20 years ago. He could win it through a World Cup win with France in the summer, but that's not guaranteed. World Cup is difficult to win no matter if you're the favourites or not, and they come around every 4 years. He simply has to end his career with a Champions League. He deserves it. Let me tell you some of the records he's broken. The quickest a player in Europe has reached 400 goals. The most goals scored from a debut season at Real Madrid. Most goals in a calendar year for Real Madrid alongside Ronaldo. Most goals scored by a French player in the top 5 division. League and top goal scorer 6 seasons in a row. And only 5 players in the Champions League, a trophy he has not won, have more goals than him. The second youngest as of right now to reach 60 Champions League goals. I'll say as of right now because Haaland may break that. A hat-trick in the Champions League away from home. The first teenager to score for 2 clubs in the Champions League. And to top it all off, he's been PSG's all-time top scorer despite only being there for 6 seasons. And he was there from 19 to 25. Ages he's supposed to be developing and not in his prime. For me personally, Mbappe simply has to get his hands on it. As a kid, I would not have been able to comprehend him not winning the Champions League. If he doesn't, he would retire as the best player to never do so, alongside R9 in my opinion. Plus, his reputation will be ruined. It's already ruined as of right now. A lot of people are disrespecting him. And look, I can understand why, but he's just such a good player to have. And for that to be his reputation, it doesn't sit right with me. Let me know what you all think. That's the end of Ads Talks Boy, everyone. Thank you for watching.